After our little broadcast yesterday, we wandered over to the convention floor. Quite a scene. They're still doing some last-minute adjustments, and there's a lot of activity considering that there wasn't anything going on besides this like 12-second event. Mm-hmm. But we ran into people. We ran into all kinds of people yesterday, and chief among them was Reince Priebus, the chairman of the RNC, before he went to have his 12-second gavel moment.
Yeah, right.
We stopped him in a hallway and had the conversation. Here's how that went. So what kind of adjustments are you making given all the things that have happened of late?
Well, right now we're just absorbing the Monday program back into Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and it really isn't it wasn't that tough to do. So we feel great about what everyone's going to see, and I think everyone's going to be accommodated.
Do you change anything because of the hurricane?
Right, well, I think in that particular case, we've just got to be nimble. We've got to be able to move. We've got potential contingency plans if we need them. But for right now, we're planning on full steam ahead starting on Tuesday.
Tell us about the debt clock. What are you doing with that? With the?
Well, I just think it highlights the fact that we need to get serious about our debt trajectory in this country. We need to get serious about deficits. You know, quite frankly, we probably wouldn't have had to put that debt clock up there if the president would have fulfilled half of his promises, but he didn't. So we've got a problem in this country in spending and debt and almost an inability to stop the spending, and so that's why we want to highlight it today.
What is the overall, at the end of the week, when all's said and done, what is it that you hope people walk away with from this convention?
That the Republican Party and Mitt Romney we're the ones that want to talk about a better future for America. We embrace the American dream. We don't look down on success. We want everyone to be successful, and that's a much different message than you're getting out of Barack Obama nowadays.
Mr. Chairman, thank you for your time.
All right, thank you.
Reince Priebus yesterday on the floor of the convention hall, giving us his lowdown. Interesting, he said full steam ahead, starting today. So I guess they're not going to spend a great deal of time angsting over the hurricane and how much they should pull back. Yeah,
they shouldn't, and we'll talk about that coming up in the 6 o'clock hour, or how much time they should actually spend discussing the hurricane or worried about their tone during the hurricane. Which is it even a hurricane at this point?
No, it is. The 5 o'clock fix came out just a moment ago.
Yeah.
And although it is continuing, it's a large storm continuing to bear down on New Orleans, it is still a tropical storm.
It's a huge tropical storm, and it's going to do a lot of. There's going to be a lot of rain. There's no doubt about it, and it's going to push water all over the place if it does hit New Orleans. So I'm not downplaying its significance, but it is a tropical storm. It is not a hurricane at this point. That's right. And if it is a hurricane, it'll be a hurricane category 1, maybe category 2.
Yeah, and there's actually some benefit to come from all this because, I mean, as bad as it will be in New Orleans, where flooding is always a concern, and they always are watching the levees with one cautious eye. The track of the storm, once it goes inland, is right up the Mississippi Valley,
right,
which will help to relieve a lot of the drought that the country has been experiencing in the Midwest.
By the way, when we were in the convention room or the hall or whatever you call it, where they're actually going to be giving the speeches, the Virginia delegation has prime seats for the event. They're in the front, very front. It's very interesting, and you understand why they do it. They put all the battleground states, all the states that are the most important, in the front of right next to where the speakers are going to be. And Virginia's up close, Wisconsin's up close, Michigan's there, Ohio, and Florida. And then the states that they know are either no chance are going to go for Obama, like Maryland. They're in the back.
That's right.
And states that they know are going to go for Romney. They're kind of in the back, but boy, those battleground states are up close.
Got good seats, and it's a beautiful convention hall, by the way, and they've done a great job with the staging of the event. It appears so far.
But I just tell you how bored they were though yesterday. We saw the guy who was in charge of the carpet there, who had a pair of scissors and was going around and cutting the little threads that were just a fraction too high because
they got nothing better
to do.
Speaking of the Virginia delegation, we ran into a Virginian of note, Tom Davis, former congressman, a man who is very active right now because he also serves on the MWA board.
Yeah, right.
We talked briefly about that off the record, but we did talk to him about this convention and what he hopes will happen. Here's a little bit of that.
This is the one opportunity Governor Romney's going to have to define himself, to kind of flesh himself out, connect the dots for the public. My judgment is with President Obama, you've had 4 years of bad outcomes. The deficit has gone up. Unemployment has been sustained. You've had over half of the unemployed have been unemployed for 3 years. They're looking around for something, and you've got to make the sale. So this is a time where Governor Romney's got to close the sale. People know what they have in Obama. They're not happy with that, but it's not automatically a jump to the Republicans. So this is a good opportunity, I think, for the Republicans to contrast, but to convey a positive message.
You and I were talking that there is a storm looming as it goes into Louisiana the way it looks right now. But you say the Democrats, after their convention, have their own kind of storm that they'll be facing.
They do. I would rather have the Republican storm than the Democrats. And the Democratic storm is simply this. President Obama gives his acceptance speech next Thursday night, and Friday morning the unemployment statistics come out. What do you think is going to dominate the news? And unemployment went up in 44 states this month.
Congressman Tom Davis, good to have you.
WMAL, Bryan, even Brian Wilson, live in Tampa this morning.
Yeah, we one of the other people that we ran into yesterday was the Senate Majority Leader, Senator Mitch McConnell. Had a chance to chat with him briefly on the floor of the convention hall, and here's a little bit of what was on his mind.
I think we'll have plenty of opportunity to take our message to the American people. And the overall message is surely we can do better as a country than we've been doing the last 4 years. I think the president's been busily trying to convince everybody this is as good as it gets, kind of the new normal. We think we can do better.
So as you send that message out, it's awful easy to get distracted by the things that are going on around you. Do you have to make any adjustments? Because on Thursday, as you're wrapping up, there'll be a hurricane hitting Louisiana the way it looks.
No, we're going to take our message to the American people. We hope the hurricane will not be too devastating, but unfortunately we get a lot of these. We've had them over the years. We'll clean up the mess once it's over and pray that no one is hurt during it, but the American people are still entitled to know what the alternative to Barack Obama is, and that's Mitt Romney, and we think America can do better, and we're going to drive that message as best we can this week in Tampa.
What is your optimism level for winning the presidential election and also retaking control of the Senate?
I think both of them are no worse than 50-50. The new Washington Post ABC poll came out today, had Romney up by 1. We know 1 is not statistically significant, but we do know there's been a series of polls here that have shown this race dead even.
And that was with the registered voters, not likely voters, the Post poll today. So that's even probably better.
Yeah, so look, this is a close race. Everybody knows that. The polls have varied a bit over the months, but not much. It's been pretty much neck and neck. The Obama campaign has doubled down on trying to destroy Mitt Romney over the last 2 or 3 months. It appears as if the American people are unimpressed by all that negativity and fully understand that this is about the future of the country. And the president's had 4 years. Surely we can do better.
Senator Mitch McConnell, always good to see you.
Thank you, Brian.
That was yesterday on the floor of the convention.